Kabam T's next month's event quest, Selling Champions, is over. Ock is broken, and we have an update for those who can't log in. Yes, hello everybody, welcome back to the Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Friday. Don't worry, it's just me enjoying the extended dance sequence of Baron Zemo in the nightclub. It's great, isn't it? Very good. And before we get into today's Marvel Contest of Champions news show, because there's a lot of stories to go over, make sure to support the channel by hitting the like button, as well as hitting the post notification on all button. Which is very important to mention because 45% of you out there are watching my videos but are not subscribed. Subscribe, it's absolutely free. Hit the subscribe button. I've also got to give thanks and thank you again to those that very kindly and generously support the channel through YouTube membership and as well Patreon. You're on screen now. Thank you so much for continuing that support. Also, those that support over on twitch.tv/RichTheMan live. That is where I do predominantly all of my live streaming, from Call of Duty Warzone to Marvel Contest of Champions to more games will be added in the coming days and weeks and months. So yeah, thank you to those that give the Prime Gaming, the Amazon Prime free sub. Also those that give the Tier 1 subs and as well Tier 2, very generous. Also donations, bit and all that lovely stuff. So we must kick off Marvel Contest of Champions news by covering the Cant login issue. Now, as of yesterday, there was a update. If you go to your app store, you will see that there is an update to 30.2.1, which, as Kabam Mike says, is a hotfix build that addresses an issue preventing some summoners from being able to log into the game and causing extended load times. We hope to have this really. It's out. That basically is out, but it's not exactly plain sailing. I've still had some people say that they're still experiencing logging in issues, and some other players are going a bit further to say that they are getting a, well, not so kind of like great build with some of the imagery not being shown. This is one of these situations of, I can imagine that Kabam would resolve this particular stuff and that particular stuff by next month, but getting this quick fix out to kind of sort players out to be able to log in is probably the top priority. Either way, it's not particularly good, but I know there are some still suffering. Hopefully it's a case that this is resolved, but I think you've got somewhat of playable narrative now. But yeah, somebody said this update resolved totally for me. Excellent. So there's definitely people out there that have seen a resolution to this, but others are still waiting to see some stuff being sorted out. So yeah, hopefully there's no further issues, but if there is, make sure to come back to the forum post in the link in the description and kind of like say, hey, look, you know, things aren't working correctly. Okay, next up, and we all got the in-game message saying to us, hey, look, you know, you cannot sell champions any further. This is very strange. In all the years that we've played Marvel Contest of Champions, it's been available narrative that you can sell champions. But maybe this should have been something. I mean, it's weird that they come in ever since the Variant 4 particular situation. I'm surprised it wasn't put in a lot sooner. If you're not familiar with that particular situation, is players had maybe and possibly sold champions because the narrative at the start of it, when they started the game back in 2014, is that you could sell champions. Whether or not that gave you any kind of bonus or improvement or gold or shards is another thing. But the narrative was never save your champions, you'll need them down the line. But definitely when Variant 4 came out, it was given the impression that, hey, you're going to need your 1-star champions, you're going to need your Hulk, because you're not going to find anything to take down that Mordo in the very final parts of Variant 4. So we're now at a point where Kabam are now giving you the kind of the push now to say don't sell your champions, and you shouldn't sell your champions. And it's good because they kind of like at least said this, what, coming on to like the 7th year, 6.5 years since the game's launch. As of May 3rd, we'll be disabling the ability to sell champions at any rarity, as most of you will tell each other selling champions is a bad move for a long-term growth of your roster and negatively affects your progression. To a degree, but I think it affects the way that Kabam may put in content that, well, put in some kind of like, you know, new stuff that you'll need a 1-star, which you may not have sold very early on. With content like back issues, where the depth of your roster is often key to success, selling champions early can put you in a troubling spot later. This is just one example of how selling champions can negatively affect a summoner. And again, this is one of these things where it feels like it's very much in hindsight. If we could go back in time, I think Kabam may have been best off to say that, you know, never sell your champions, or just remove the feature of selling. that may have been a better option. Anyway, hindsight. While you're free to sell any 1, 2, and 3 4-star champions until May 3rd, we want to let you know that we do intend to continue to add more content where you need a diverse roster and would advise against selling any more champions. And yeah, I get it. I really do get it. And for me, when you get like the 2-star, 3-star, and 4-stars, and you get those max signature crystals are great. They are that extra kind of platform, that little kind of like kick to extra shards, which allows you, and also, you know, ISO to a degree, but just more so the max signatures and what it does to elevate your shard acquisition, and as well get you to that point of kind of going up and up and up. So when I open a 4-star, I feel that at least I'm going to get myself some more 5-star shards for my trouble, which is a more common thing nowadays for me. So yeah, there's definitely been leaps and bounds, and I'm glad that they are removing, well, I hope they're removing the sell like little button. It's definitely something that should have been there a long time ago. Also, if anyone's interested, I have sold a champion in the past. Which is a great little story and forms the basis of a video where I sold a Ant-Man, which got me 275 5-star shards, which then allowed me to get my last attempt, I think it is, at getting a blade out of a 5-star featured, which cost 15,000 5-star shards, and I got myself a blade. So that's a little fun story. That's the only time I've done it, and I'll never do it again. And I'm so glad that it had a good and happy ending. Next up, and the motion comic is out for Clash of Champions. I'm not 100% sure on the narrative and the vibe. I think it's the trader talking with the Watcher, or it's something to do with Mephisto. There's a lot of stuff that's going on, but it doesn't seem exactly what's being talked about over the narration. I will say it's probably the trader, or it's going to be something like the Watcher. It looks cool enough for those that are interested in watching it, and link is in the description. But there's something that's more important that comes out from this motion comic, which have got players talking. And that is this right here. So this may actually give an indication of what the next quest is, although there are some kind of like confusing narratives to this. So with the date side of things, when it says 55 days left, now I don't know if this is just a case that they've put it in when they were building it, because a lot of times Kabam builds stuff up front. It's not saying like, okay, 1 month, the month of like what, February, they're building Marches, they're building Aprils. I think they build them a lot more in advance. So this may be something that was starting to be built either last year or very early on this year. The quests are called Corruption and Overseer and Purgatory. Now I want to assume that either these are more of the same here, like event quests. So this may be, you know, we could say that this is the kind of what, May? Yeah, May event quest, and this is the June event quest. Either way, it doesn't give you much in the way of what is on, but yeah, it's really weird, isn't it? It's kind of like, I think these are the next 2 event quests, Corruption and Overseer and Purgatory. And it's very hard to tell what exactly these will be about. There are some Marvel characters that have the names, but do take everything with a pinch of salt, because a lot of the times the names don't really correspond with stuff going on. You could say that Overseer and Purgatory, well, you know, there's something to do with heaven and hell and kind of the gap between it. Is it a case like, is it something to do with Mephisto with purgatory element, corruption? There could be something corrupting the seams of the contest. And again, we have to play into the story narrative and what those could be, rather than going, hey, there's a character called Antiphon the Overseer. It must be him, mightn't it? Yeah. I would not think that it was that for a second, especially because it's very, very kind of unusual. There's nothing really on the character. And the same thing you could say with, okay, so there's a team called Project Purgatory. Are we going to have that as a thing? I laugh. It'd be very weird. Like, you could say, okay, well, who's in the team? What could it be? Could it be General Ulysses, Doc Ock, McDonald, and other unnamed members? No, it's not going to be that. And the same thing with here, like the spirit of corruption, necrosis, the spirit of corruption. Yeah, like no, it's not going to be that. It's just one of these things where we've got some placeholder names, and we'll have to wait until the foreseeable months to find out who is the next characters being brought in, unless something really kind of like pinpoints these two types of event quests with names, and people go to me, oh, it's definitely this person, and we'll go, okay, we'll look into it. So now let's move on to a very important story, and Doc Ock is broken. Yes, he is indeed broken. As part of his abilities, he's meant to have something about his health stealing ability. And a lot of players have noted that they cannot see this either in function with the signature ability and in game. Now, if you are curious, the regeneration little kind of like message pops up when you're playing, which you can see on screen here and also in here, but you get no health. Doc Ock has a lot of fan favourites, so I really hope this is sorted out quickly. Gabam Zibit did say about a couple of days ago, hey there, the team is looking into this and investigating possible fixes. But yeah, it's a good character. I don't use it personally. I know there are people out there that do enjoy it. So yeah, and also enjoy it for the monthly quest. We even indeed have added it last month to the Cavalier cheat sheet, which, by the way, if anybody's interested, has to change a little bit to add in and accommodate the older nodes in rotation. So that means that things have to change with Cavalier Cheat Sheet 3.0 to put variants. Or maybe I'll create a, I don't know, a Cavalier Cheat Sheet 3.0 plus variant. I need to kind of figure out how I'm going to do this in order to kind of make sure that we're covering both the new nodes and as well the previous nodes as well. I feel like I want to put it into one specific spreadsheet to then have like another cap there with going tech, like tech node, old or variant, then just do it that way so it's all in like one-stop shop for information. But I don't know, thoughts in the comment section. And now we end on a Friday as we normally do, and that's with Art Corner. If you're not familiar, there's an Art Corner section in the RichTheMan Discord. Links are in the description. And once a week, we go over various pieces of art from the community. If you do have an Instagram tag, make sure to put it into Art Corner along with your image. But we start off with Colin has a beard with this fantastic, I believe this is a hood, which is absolutely amazing. I love the way it's got like tribal elements to the background as well. It just reminds me of part of like Dwayne The Rock Johnson's arm, but it looks quite cool. Robbo's got some pieces of art, kicking off with this fantastic little crystal. This one is one of those dark artifact crystals, and it looks amazing. I love the way that it's kind of put together, the elements, the designs, and as well the little kind of elements of the crack of the crystal. We've also got a Spider-Man by Robbo, and also we have got this Daredevil. I like the way it's a bit gruff there, look at that. Realm also has put together this pretty sick Spider-Man. I love the little shading and elements around here to put more emphasis on the colour in the centre part, especially because this is the Iron Spider within the MCU version, and it looks really good. I just like the details done by it, the finer bits, and especially like the indentations here with the patterns for the web part of Spider-Man right there. Also, Fire 101 I think puts together its own characters. So shout out to I always love self-creation if you are writing any kind of comic books and stuff. Like Ryan did with The Stolen Child, which is an amazing, absolutely amazing novel, by the way. Just do it, create. I would need to get my comic book made as well. But yeah, this looks really cool. Shout out to Fire for creating these. And yeah, look, this is the thing. His own characters are created. Yeah, look, it's great. It's great. I love this as well. Look at this. I think this has got something to like pinpoint into the design of whatever they're doing with a comic book or kind of story, and as well the elements. This could be like one of those mother boxes from like Justice League. And yeah, that has been Art Corner. That has been Marvel Contest of Champions news show for Friday. Thank you so much. Hope you've kept informed with the last few things that have gone over the contest in the last 24 to 48 hours. I'll see you later on for more content and maybe a stream. Thank you. Bye bye.